Hello, and welcome to the Second Tribal Council of Survivor Hamilton Old Meets New. As you can tell, the Kobara Tribe is about to vote, and I'm looking forward to inviting them into the meeting right now. Hey.
Hey.
How's it going, Paul?
Good. Some people said that they got booted out.
Yeah, I know, because they were trying to join, but everyone should be able to get in now.
Okay. You got all your Jeff Probsisms ready?
No, we're pretty much winging it. We got too much else. We got too much to do to write a script. We'll try and be a bit more casual.
But you're not gonna be like fire represents life and life is everything.
I don't have all that stuff written down, but I will. I'm sure that we will come up with our own cadences as we go.
Oh, hey, Meg. Hi.
Yeah.
So it looks like Silas has gone for a jog.
Yeah, just me and my side chick over here. Hey, Chica. Chica, come here. Say hello.
Oh,
Who's that? Yeah, my little side chick. We're stress drilling.
You see more into her than she does to you, just so you know.
That's my whole dating life. Summed up in Chelsea.
Shut up! This is my life.
No, I said that's my whole dating life summed up by Chelsea.
Oh.
All right, so we got Silas, Chelsea, Jonathan, Paul, Cowan, Amanda, great to see you.
Hey.
We got Christopher. You're muted. You guys are default muted to start with. So as everyone's joining, I'll just ask you guys, because it's great to see you again. How does it feel being back in Survivor Hamilton now that the game has started and you're in it?
Very excited.
I remember why I was so glad to go home last time.
You remember feeling a relief?
Positive for the other tribe.
Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
Talk positive so the other tribe doesn't want to just leave.
I think that's right. So we should. I'm pretty sure we'll get most of the people joining. I did want to do like a brief little introduction, so I was denying all of you while I was trying to record something over myself. So people probably got kicked out and have to rejoin.
Yeah,
but that's okay. How did today go? Anybody can answer, but how did today go? Any words to describe the strategy for the first vote at Kobara?
It was pretty stressful, not gonna lie. Last time you just wrote everything. I didn't have to make any decisions. This one's harder.
That was 13 years ago.
I know.
Yeah, definitely wanted to have it be more in your hands at this point than like it used to be. So we have like I mentioned before, we have Meg joining us as well to listen in, and then we're going to make our brief video after. So she'll just listen in.
Thanks, guys.
As you know, she was our winner last year, so she's got some good insights to share for sure. Hey, Jordan, good to see you, bud.
Hey, sorry, my mic wasn't working, so I had to get out and come back in.
That's okay. So I think we can just start. So the way we've been doing these videos is just pretty much chatting. I'll ask you guys a few questions, same as regular kind of tribal council in the TV
I have
show.
no idea what he said.
Sorry? Can you understand what I'm saying? Can you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I get it.
What do you mean?
No, you're loud and clear. You're good to go.
Oh, okay, good.
You might have just been unmuted, making a side comment.
Hello.
Hey, Peter. Hey, Dave.
Hamilton.
David Cox. Good to see you.
How are you?
No shit, Dave.
I got a shirt on this time. I actually
Every
put
tribe
it on.
needs one.
I actually put it on for the call. It's really hot over here. Sorry, you guys are having to deal with another winter.
You could have done your hair before you joined the call, at least.
It's 11:20. I'm after this beer is done. I am going to bed.
So it looks like we're just missing Brian. Has anybody heard from Brian?
He was on the
He said he
other
might be
call with
late.
us. I think he's just making the swap over.
Okay, perfect. So I was asking, back.
What's this other call?
So, returning tribe, Kobara, you guys lost the second challenge. Was that a big surprise?
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
it was a bit
I
of
was surprised.
Everyone's talking now.
Yeah, I can ask you one at a time if you like. I'll ask Chelsea then. Chelsea, was that a big surprise?
I don't think so. I think it's a completely different game when you only have to be on call or on standby for 4 hours instead of 3 days. So no, like I think it's even playing fields.
I did bring this up to a couple of people that I thought it might be nice to like have the same like 4 hour window, but have that 4 hour window be announced but change like from week to week. So people that have like set things or people in different time zones get a little bit of a chance to be on their game. And have
Thanks for including me.
Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. And at this point, we really only have 2 people out of our time zone. Sorry, Dave and James.
Where's James?
What helps with the people with kids that
He's
go
in
down
BC.
between with kids that go down between 5 and 9 to have something in the afternoon or something would
Right.
Because we lost Cousin John and the baby.
Well, that's good feedback for sure. I'll take it under consideration. I'm trying to kind of do what's best. It's tough to try and do what's best for everyone at the same time, and especially people who are at work as well during the day, and trying to make this interfere as little as possible with work. But I think maybe there's some room to stop it from interfering as much with family too.
Especially because I think most people are working from home, so during the day isn't necessarily bad for anyone at any particular time. But whatever. I mean, as long as it's fair for everyone, I don't care. It's just a suggestion that maybe like might help or whatever.
What about like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.? Like no one's kids are going down at a time. Like
My kids are getting up.
Now that's the advantage for the parents.
My kids are up every day at like 5:45. I'll take that. Set it up.
Well, at the very least, once reward challenges start, those will be posted at any point in the day. So, that might benefit some people who have different time zones for sure. So anyway, I was surprised to see you guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't know how what the results of the challenges were going to be as as this is the first time we kind of using this format. So I expected you guys to win a few to start off with, and so seeing you in the second vote, needing to vote somebody else, kind of a surprise, and also feels almost too soon. Also,
based on how close the first challenge was, I was like, we're for sure probably gonna lose one of the first 3.
Right.
For sure, probably. Definitely, for sure, probably.
Well, like we have a lot of parents on the team. I don't know about the other team. We have the 2 people in different time zones. That 5 to 9, having it's a set time can sort of work in their benefit in that case.
Sure. I'd say it's pretty even. It's pretty evenly split across those lines as well. Maybe a bit more kids on your side, but overall it should be pretty even. And those are just the decisions you'll have to make moving forward. So after you guys found out that you lost on Thursday, how long did it take for strategy to kick in?
I feel like there was about 20 minutes where I thought for sure it was me,
And then everybody drew their guns and started shooting. And I was like, whoa, okay, maybe it's not me.
And did you feel a little bit of heat, John?
Well,
from,
for sure, I thought for sure I was done at first. I lost the challenge, and then, but I think pretty quickly I started getting messages from people saying that, you know, they were willing to work with me and willing to not vote me out. So
all because of your baby picture.
Yeah, I really did it. I love that Kyle called it, though. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Before you sent it, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
So you got caught up putting your baby down for the night, and that cost your tribe just those 2 minutes.
And my phone was not even in the same room. It was in a different room, and I realized, and I ran for it. And Elliot was actually calling me as I was running into the other room. It was Rain, and it was Elliot.
So you learned your lesson, is what you're saying.
I was really
you can't
surprised.
do without your phone.
Yeah, don't leave your phone in a different room is the lesson for sure. I feel like people who have iWatches have an advantage. I do not have an iWatch, but maybe I should have gotten an iWatch for this challenge.
Yo, holla at me. Holla at me. I know someone you can get your discount.
That watch does look more expensive than an iWatch, John.
Yeah, just for this tribe, friends and family discounts. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Yeah. DM me.
Thanks, Silas. So Kyle, you didn't play last season either. You played 13 years ago, same as Amanda and James. How did you feel the strategy, as you know, vote one in this Survivor Hamilton was different than 13 years ago?
Oh man, I don't even remember the first vote 13 years ago. But one thing, I'll say this, one thing that was clear quickly is too many people talk too much, way too much. One person tells something, one thing, it comes back around and around and around and around. So it gets to a point where you're like, I don't really know who to trust here. The knife's in a different person's back every 5 minutes, right? So
I agree with that.
I think that's the different thing here. I think too many people, and I think that's what happens when you know each other, because in other iterations of the game, you might have been on opposite tribes to start, and there's smaller groups that you can kind of manage, right? But now it's a big group where everyone knows each other, so you know that everyone's talking to everyone immediately, and then you have to almost have to put your relationships with people into a hierarchy, which then becomes a problem, right? Because then you have an internal struggle. Who am I more loyal to, this person or this person? They talk to me first, but I know this person for I've known them for longer. It's way messier, I think, than the other iteration in terms of the relationship aspect.
Right. Is anybody finding that they need to be more careful now with what they put in writing in text message?
Yep.
Or is everyone feeling that?
There's a lot more after calls for sure.
I was gonna say, Chris, over to you.
Chris, no comment. Chris probably doesn't want to say anything this whole video.
I don't think it's all that different than it was 2 years ago, and I didn't play 10 years ago. But I guess 10 years ago, there probably wasn't the same messenger services. But no, I think that was the same as 2 years ago. Everybody was screenshotting people's messages and sending it. So to me, that's part of the game. I think that's kind of at least to me, that's the whole. This part of the strategy is the betrayal and the lies. I mean, that's part of the strategy, I think.
Yeah, I feel like I want to route all of my messaging through Snapchat now, because when someone screenshots your stuff.
That's a good point.
But then you do the old school cell phone picture of the screen of your snapshot.
Yeah.
No,
so David, were you
the past 24 hours?
Oh, go ahead. Oh. David, I was going to ask if you were relieved to get the immunity challenge off, to kind of get the night without having to worry about it. Oh. He may not have his audio.
To be honest, on the surface, it sounded like it.
Yep. Sorry. Go ahead.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. On the surface, it sounded like a good thing, but actually, because it came out awake, it wasn't. I was. It wasn't really a big deal because it came out at 7 o'clock. your time, so it was like, no, 6 o'clock your time, so it was like 11 o'clock here, which is fine. Obviously, we don't know, but it would have been nice for my immunity for one of those times when you decide to release it at like 9 or 10 o'clock your time, which is like 2 or 3 o'clock my time. Obviously, there's no way of knowing that, but it just so happened that when I was right there, I saw all this happening live, pretty much, within the first couple of minutes. So it was kind of it was almost a wasted immunity challenge for me.
Right.
But, I think Chelsea mentioned this before. Having it in a set window makes it a lot more manageable. Because the last one I was in, where I got booted extremely quick, is you have no idea. You had no idea when it was coming. And obviously, I was asleep the one time when it was like 2 a.m. or something like that here. And Silas was frantically texting me, which obviously I saw those messages at like 7, 8 in the morning the next day. So it's right. Interesting being in a different time zone, but I think knowing when it is going to make that a lot more manageable for me. So I can, even if I don't have that rest off or whatever that particular challenge, I'll know, all right, tonight I might have to wake up at 2 a.m. and send a quick message or something like that. But right. knowing that there's a window makes it a lot easier, I suppose.
Well, good. That was definitely the point. Thanks, Dave. John, you mentioned earlier that you felt like you were in trouble early, and then all of a sudden some other names started coming out. I want to kind of put it to the tribe. Did anybody feel that they were in danger, or that they were the ones being talked about after maybe John was the initial target?
I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on what happened now, but I sort of want to wait until we see the votes.
I figured it was House right away. Right after House, I was like, what the
I think everyone was like that.
So is it fair to say that kind of the initial thought was that, week to week going after the person who loses the immunity challenge, quote unquote loses, it was 2 minutes, but that would be a strategy that most people could get behind?
I think so, especially on the first vote, because everyone's sort of apprehensive to make a move at the beginning, or so we think, or so we thought. I mean, I feel it played in John's favor that it was literally he was putting his kid down. It was literally like 3 minutes, so
yeah,
you can't really blame him.
Like, yeah,
if he was like an hour and no one could get a hold of him, then
right? Like,
for sure, exactly.
And in prior survivors, right? Like, it would have taken. Some people, you could be chasing them for like an hour because they're at the gym or something like that, and they don't have their phone with them. Whereas like John was obviously paying attention, he just left his phone, right? And so I think that's why it was very, from my perspective, like very forgivable. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say, Mike, I have the same point of view, and probably, I guess, my biggest mistake, if there's like a list of mistakes, was being too vocal about it. Like, I think at the end of the day, 100% still stand behind the same thing. If somebody has a personal life matter where they're not being negligent, like Peter said, and some things come up like their kids, I'm not going to hold that against them. And I think that's a dumb reason to get kicked out. And I think I made that point of view maybe too aggressively. So that's kind of number one.
Does that count for sleep?
Sorry?
Does that count for sleep? Or is sleep considered negligible?
like let's be honest, right? The time between John and Damien was like, all of a sudden Damien looks like a hero now because he's like, oh, he saved the tribe. But he didn't really. He was the last person on their tribe who just happened to beat John out. So like, I don't know. If someone in our tribe wasn't involved, they weren't responding, they're not contributing during challenges, like I think those are the types of things that are more meaningful to me. So I really, from the get-go, wasn't interested in voting for John for that reason. And I think that exposed me a lot. Because when you're not going to vote for John, you're going to have to try and vote for someone else. And then you have to talk to people about, okay, who if not John, then who? And that got me into a world of hurt.
And I think that the logical when you take that to the logical conclusions, like if you're not voting John is, I think everyone can agree, is sort of viewed as like a more passive player, at least at the beginning. If you're not going to vote for John, you might as well not vote for another different passive player. You might as well make a bigger move. And then that's what I think got the ball rolling and got us in the predicament we are right now.
What predicament? We don't know the results yet.
Either way, we're in a predicament because it was quite the couple, like 48 hours.
Yeah. Should have taken Friday off work. That's what
I think I had like 1,000 text messages or WhatsApp, whatever. Same shit. Fucking blew up.
It's crazy how it all played out, right? Like Thursday was my wife's birthday, and like I didn't really play on Thursday all that much, and so like everything is blowing up, and then it's Friday morning, and I had actually taken Thursday and Friday off work. Just because, like, you know, you got 2 kids and you're working all the time and you need some quiet time. And I was shocked at how bananas everything. I was so shocked at how bananas everything was.
Well, everyone's working at home, so they're like typing away on their computer. You can just fire off messages and stuff. It gets crazy.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's like another IM, right? And
yeah,
at work, on IM, no problem.
So, Elliot, you've been pretty quiet there. Do you feel like there's a difference, or you need to be really careful in this game about whose names you're throwing around and who hears it? You may be muted. Sorry, bud.
And again, that's kind of all I have to say about that. So. No, I mean, to Kyle's point, right? Everybody knows everybody, right? So what you say is going to be, like it's not going to be long before someone knows what you've said to so-and-so. So think about it. And then, the ball will just roll from there, I think. So,
right.
Yeah, it's kind of hard you can't just start, everyone knows everyone. So you can't just start throwing out names unless you really kind of know what strategy and have some kind of game plan that you want to execute against.
Right. James, do you think that this season you can use the strategy, or anyone can use the strategy of just kind of laying back and letting the game happen, or do you think that you found that everybody, all 15 of you, are going to have to be more active this year?
Well, I don't know. It's been kind of interesting, like, because I haven't played for like 15 years or whatever. Yeah. And seeing
14 in your case.
Yeah, and I was waiting for our first tribal council because, who knows what's going to happen, and I don't know. I feel like it could have gone easy for everybody, but I feel like from the get go, a lot of people were making power moves, or maybe select few were making power moves, and that made it really interesting for everyone. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if laying low is a good way to go, or I don't know. It's been interesting. Definitely been interesting past 48 hours.
Right.
So.
Right. Thanks, James. Graham, did you find that there was a kind of an internal debate between you and the people that you were talking to about doing this big move or doing more of like an easy vote?
Oh, big time. As soon as the challenge was over, before we even knew that we officially lost, because I knew what time the other team finished in, because I live with my wife who's on the other team. I'm like, oh shit, we lost. And so I started talking to people about it, and the first name that came out was John, just because he was the easy one, because he was the worst performer. But then we all started to think, well, maybe that's kind of a dick move. So we started to think of some other options, and I mean, it really did come down to a big move or an easier move. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out once you start reading the votes.
Jordan, is it too early to start, when you're doing strategy today or talking with everyone about it, was it too early to start thinking about next week and setting yourself up for kind of how the tribe will look after this vote, or was it really just about getting through this vote?
Honestly, I couldn't even think like 15 minutes in the future. There was so much stuff happening today and yesterday. It was absolutely nuts. And for me, you know, I haven't played with you know, a lot of you. I've only played twice. It's my second year, and I'm probably counted as more of a passive player. But I did not expect, you know, the last couple days to be like they were, especially with the amount of conversation and changes. And it was a very you know, cool experience to have this happen in the first week. I kept thinking it was week 2, just because of how quick the Muni challenges are going. But
going this season.
I definitely can't be thinking into the future. I'm looking forward to seeing what the votes are like, because I think as anybody's thinking, it's kind of a toss up right now.
Right. Thanks, Jordan. Amanda, you're new to this as well. What did you? How did you find today in terms of the social aspect and needing to have so many different conversations?
Well, I never crossed my mind to screenshot anybody or to send messages saying like, this person said this person said that. Like, I think I've been pretty honest, and I'm trying to stay that way. But it's been a lot of messages. And today, like, I celebrated Mother's Day with my family, so I've been able to get away with everything, but I was on my phone all day long. And that was starting to drive my kids crazy. So
Oh God.
yeah, I'm glad this will be over soon.
If this happened on Mother's Day, I would have been in so much trouble. If this was tomorrow, oh God.
Jenny, I was
Yeah, definitely nothing will happen tomorrow. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, Dave doesn't have to worry about that because Mother's Day is what? Like, it's like a completely different
right
time
now,
Day, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Mother's Day in the UK is around Easter time. It's like end of March, early April.
Your posts on Facebook always screw me up because I see Dave talking about Mother's Day on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, did I forget Mother's Day? I'm like, shit, it's the UK.
Well, the thing is that I often have to set a reminder to myself to remember about Canadian Mother's Day, so I remember to send my mom some flowers.
That's hilarious.
Which I've done.
Hey, Chris, I was going to ask Chris about the paranoia this season, and do you think that people who are sending messages about what other people are saying behind their backs, like that, they're going to have a lot of power in this game if they use that strategy to say this person told me this and they were talking about you?
You have to repeat the question one more time.
It was a run-on question, so you know I'll take that one.
White Claw.
Chris, you're paranoid. It's all about you.
No. I don't know. Ask me that question again. What did you say?
I was just really asking, do you think it's become a really legitimate strategy in this game to tell people what other people are saying about them behind their backs, whether it's true or not?
Yes, this week, yes. There was a lot of that.
It's a double-edged sword, though, because you don't want, if you're not consistent in what you're saying, whether it gets it back to people or not, and you're the person that's sending screenshots, even if your own messages and stuff, people they don't trust you as much, so you don't get that information going forward. You sort of left
It's funny because in a lot of interactions, like people are very careful to like not type other people's names, or like, when they respond to something, it'll be like they'll say like I agree with what you said, or like you know, I'm willing to work with that plan, right? So like you pick up on that pretty quickly, like people who are like they won't type names out. And then I think even like when you kind of notice that trend, you're like, I'm less likely to trust that person because I feel like they're doing this on purpose. They're not naming names. So
I also think Oh,
go ahead.
I think screenshotting is a slippery slope because you may there's 15 of us right now, and so the tribes or the alliances are quite large right now. And so if you're screenshotting now, what happens in a few weeks when you get to a point where, if it's my week to go and my tribe mates were screenshotting me and now they stop, something's up and I know that. And so it's almost like tipping your hand. Like, I feel like screenshotting, this isn't I don't like it. I don't like doing it. I hate that we have to text our answers to or our votes to you. because it's like someone can say, well, send me your screenshot. And like last season, that caused a real problem because I wouldn't screenshot my vote to someone. Granted, it was for them, but but I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't have done it anyway. Like it is a very slippery slope. And I think if you're going to screenshot, you need to do it with someone that you trust implicitly and that you're going to take as far as you possibly can and never turn your back on, because it does kind of tip the scales.
Well, for me, I actually asked for it because I got told so much different things. I was like, all right, I think I believe this one, but let me see. So I asked, can you send me that? And that kind of directed me where I wanted to go this week.
Paul, have you seen people trying to make phone calls or trying to call you and talk on the phone instead of text message?
Oh yeah, I definitely think there's a big push for phone calls for sure. I think the one thing I know about this game that's so different from the actual Survivor is the fact that we're not all together on an island, and so everything outside of just WhatsApp or instant message or phone calls is always behind the scene, which is the hard part.
Yeah, somebody was telling me about having all these different conversations using WhatsApp or using Facebook Messenger, or using text messages, using iMessage, using these different things. And it's almost like different spots in the forest on the island to kind of go say, I talked to this person by the well, I talked to this person by the beach. And it's kind of like people going off on having their different conversations. And it's really interesting for me, obviously, which is why I do this.
But like, even with that, like, you can at least, if you're all stuck in the islands, see who's going where together.
Right.
I think the other thing with using different platforms to communicate is it helps keep your conversations straight. And there's no John House accidentally posting in the wrong chat and the North Yorker chat.
Well, the other thing too is there's like a little bit of paranoia of like, are they not responding? Did they see it? And like, is this silence really a silence, or is this silence like you're ignoring me?
The silence is deafening.
Yeah.
I got super paranoid and had the thought, speaking of screenshots, to bring it back, that like people things are going on and people are sending you screenshots, and I'm like wondering, like, how can they fake that? And I'm thinking of fake it, but like I was thinking maybe they send like a bunch of messages to Mike, just like everyone's name, take a screenshot each individual time, and just have a screenshot set up for every single person, just in case they have to. Please no one do that.
That's full on paranoia right there.
I went down a rabbit hole earlier. I won't lie.
Can we create like movie phone where everybody has to dial in and like Morse code their vote in, and then Mike just has to decipher it?
Well, there's a couple options. I talked to the other tribe a little about this, and and you guys tell me what you think. So one idea I had is to not open the voting period until an hour before tribal council. So it's like everyone. So you don't have to be busy with it all every other day. You can decide who you want to vote, but you can't put it in until the last hour. So there's that option, or there's also literally doing this and then saying it's time to vote and having you one at a time message me your votes. Like, what do you guys think about those two ideas, or do you want to keep it the way it is now?
I kind of like the latter.
Yeah, I like the last idea.
I think that's a great idea.
The only thing I'm worried about is people that like could be busy, during that time and might not be able to.
They could always send it in early, right?
Yeah,
like
so those people would have to send it in.
So, Mike, what about those people that were on the Zoom call and they're like, oh, I'm going to wait until I hear a couple people's votes, or you're not going to say any votes until everybody's sent their message in at the same time?
Yeah, I would just go like Chelsea vote, and I'll say, okay, I'll got it, and then I'll say John vote, and then Paul vote, and then once I have them, I'll have to kind of let you know quickly, what happened, right? I'm not going to write them all out, but maybe I'll have like a PowerPoint open where I can drag the dates or something.
You have to write them all out. It's kind of nice you holding up the piece of paper. Come on.
I know.
It's Sandra to help.
Sandra
will be there. She'll write them out for you.
I thought you were doing your rating for each one so it looked more special, as if it was really written by us.
There's a little bit of that going on. So I think we should get to the vote.
Yeah.
Some people, like, I can't see their cameras, and it would be great to see their cameras.
Yeah, let's
But there you go.
do it.
So, Dave, are you still there?
We voted him out.
I saw Silas pop back in.
Dave went to,
I'm here.
Dave went to bed, I think. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, Dave.
There he is.
Hey,
So does anybody have?
just 1 second? I'm just
Okay.
transitioning between outside and inside.
No worries. Does anybody have anything they want to say before we get to the vote?
No, I'm tired.
Too risky?
What a fucking first fucking vote. Holy. Oh, fucking Survivor Hamilton.
Well, let me ask you, while Silas is getting ready there, what do you guys think about the other tribe? Do you think that that they will continue to put up a fight? Do you even care about them right now?
I think they're going to continue to put up a fight in challenges, but I think where their disadvantage is that they don't have cohesive groups. Like, no one knows anyone essentially on that tribe from what I can tell from the introductions, but and that sort of will breed paranoia that no one will know who's with who and like, why are you with this person, why are you talking to this person. I think we have an advantage that once we sort of get past this transition phase and we'll sort of solidify our group, they won't be able to work cohesively at a certain point.
Yeah, I agree with Brian. I think they're going to start to get the fear a little bit as the weeks move on, and that paranoia is going to manifest into, is it me? Is it somebody else? And maybe they'll start to flip quicker and maybe start to erode a little bit of their alliances from the inside.
I think it could be the end of it because we all know each other very well, and I didn't even feel confident in my own close relationships that I was going to get the support that I needed. So maybe the fact that none of these guys know each other means they can really play the game better, whereas we feel like we need to be loyal to our real life friends where they don't have that same obligation.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we're overplaying a little bit.
A bit?
I'd say that's likely. At the end of the day, I use the analogy with some people on the phone that it's like the other tribe has gone through basic training and they think that they've been through the game. I think they know what they're up to, right? But they haven't, like, they're soldiers and they're about to go to war. Like, they haven't gone there yet, and they're going to see what it's really like once their next vote, when they have to vote somebody out, because the first one was so easy, right? So, and you guys have already been there. So I see most people, and some people are cutting in and out, but that's okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and read the votes now, if that's okay with everybody.
Let's get to it.
And then what we'll do is the person who gets voted out, so everyone else will drop off after the vote, and the person who gets voted out can stay on the call maybe for like 10 minutes and chat with Meg and I, and we'll do a separate call. I'll just stop recording and start recording then. Does that sound good for everybody, even though you don't know who's getting voted out yet?
Sure.
All right. Well, I'll read the votes, and then next time I'll get some music to play or something like that.
I like the snake shirt. That's very nice.
Thank you. I wore it for you guys. And for any proud Slytherins out there. Okay. So, this is for the second person voted out of Survivor Hamilton. I have a bunch of votes to read. I'm going to start right now. Okay? First vote, Silas. Second vote, James. That's one vote Silas, one vote James. Third vote, Silas. That's two votes Silas, one vote James. Fourth vote, James. We're tied again. Two votes Silas, two votes James. Silas. That's three votes Silas, two votes James. James, we're tied again. 3-3. Seventh vote, Silas. That's 4-3 Silas over James.
Seriously, I appreciate the different handwriting on each.
Thank you.
He did it last time too.
I write them all back to back, so I gotta get creative. Eighth vote, James. That's 4 votes Silas, 4 votes James. 9th vote, Silas. 5 votes Silas, 4 votes James. James.
Oh my gosh.
Still
this is
tied.
killing me.
5-5.
How many people are in the tribe?
11th vote, Silas. That is 6 votes Silas, 5 votes James. But then we have James again. So we're tied 6 votes Silas, 6 votes James. Next vote, Silas.
Dude.
That's 7 votes Silas, 6 votes James. Second person voted out of Survivor Hamilton, Silas. That was a vote of 9-6. Silas over James. So Silas, brutal, but you've been voted out of Survivor Hamilton. Second. And everybody, that's a great week. Very, very exciting. You guys did vote out a huge target. You did not take it easy this week. I don't think anybody took it easy. So congratulations for most of you on making it through. And Silas, I'm sad that you're going to be pulled out of all those future strategies that I was kind of envisioning you getting involved in. But the game's the game. Anything you want to tell the tribe before they drop off?
No, I think we're good. I think I sent a message earlier. A lot of fun. Have a lot of fun. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the game.
See you, buddy.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody.
Cheers, Mike.
Bye.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Silas and Vegas, stick around.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Mike.
See you guys.